And welcome to the Money Mindset Tune-Up. This is a free, short or mini training to help you to tune up your money mindset. All right, let's jump in. So the first question I have for you is, why are you here? The reason I ask this question is because money mindset has become kind of like a bit of a buzz phrase or a buzzword over the last few years in the world of money. Everybody is talking about money mindset, but when I ask people what they mean by my money mindset is broken, quite often they can't really articulate what they mean by that. I think it's a very good idea to just reflect for a few seconds about, why did you decide to watch this free training? What is it specifically about money that you feel is not working for you, or might be broken, or might be a pattern that you are continuing to follow that you don't like and it is not really serving you anymore? Okay, so now we are going to get under the hood of money mindset. So the first thing that I wanted to introduce you to is the fact that we have a set of beliefs, and beliefs are the ideas you have a commitment to. They are the ideas that you support. They underpin your mindset. And that's why sometimes we do find it a bit hard to articulate what we mean when we say our money mindset is broken, because what we're actually talking about here is a set of beliefs that you have about money. So where do they come from, these beliefs that we have? Well, in all of the research that I've done over the last 7 years, and I did a lot of research because for me, it came down to money mindset. That was really what was holding me back from the money perspective. That was what was keeping me making the same mistakes over and over again. Psychologists tell us that these beliefs are actually formed when we're quite young. So, we pop out of the womb, we're fresh, we are sponges, we are soaking up everything that we hear, everything that we see, everything that we feel and experience. And I think that's really important, because even as very young children, we can feel moods, we can feel energy. So it's kind of no surprise really to me that the people who have influenced these beliefs are the people who were quite big in your life in the time that you were growing up. So parents, carers, could be siblings, teachers, other authority figures, depending on the culture that you're growing up in. Then what happens is these things really get set through repetition. So the more we hear, see, and experience things about money, they could be good things, they could be bad things. The range is very wide, but that repetition is what's setting those beliefs into our psyche. And then that translates itself into our behaviors. So quite unconsciously, it's translating itself into things that we do. So a good example might be, if your mum really loved to go on girls' shopping days, and you would go out and you would have a really nice time together, you would get a coffee, maybe a cake, and you would go and have a shopping experience together. That might be something that you love to do today. It might be something that is really positive in your life, but also it could be something that has become a toxic habit. It's so interesting to me that all things being equal, we could take two siblings who have had exactly the same experience, but come out with completely different beliefs and completely different attitudes to money, a different money mindset, in other words. So for me, here's a really great example. I grew up on a farm in Western New South Wales in Australia. We were what's called asset rich and cash poor. So we did not have a lot of money. All of our clothes came from charity shops. We were not allowed to do things. We were not allowed to go places. And I really had a tough time with that when I was growing up. It wasn't a great environment. And when I left home, I believed that I should have whatever I wanted. I really did. I felt like I had lived such a life of deprivation, and I just wanted to have everything. And I went out and I got high paying jobs and I spent all of that money. In essence, my beliefs about money being scarce, about not being allowed to have the things that I wanted, translated itself into this idea that I should have everything I wanted and I would be able to provide that for myself. I was a little bit YOLO. So my behaviors reflected my mindset, which were consumerism, high personal debt, poor financial decision making, and over-generosity. So how do we uncover our mindset? This is a bit of a tricky one, but the way that I have found to be most effective is through self-reflection. So when we stop to think about something more deeply, it can uncover the patterns that we are following. It is very common with money mindset that autopilot has been engaged for a long time, and it's taking you to places that you don't even remember putting in your GPS. So I'd like to encourage you to get some paper or get a journal and consider these questions. You can pause the video or you can just think about them as I'm talking through them. So how would you describe your money mindset today? How have you treated your money up until today? Have you thought about your money strategically as something that can help you to build wealth over a long period of time? Or have you thought about it in more of a disposable way like I did, like something that just comes and goes and is not something to hold on to? Have you actively managed your money, or have you really just let it slip through your fingers? Why does this need to change? And that for me is the very important question out of all of these. What is it that's brought you here today that you feel like you need to make a change because of? All right. So once we've uncovered our money mindset, it then brings us to the question of how do we change it? Well, here's an interesting thing. From what I understand, our beliefs are a part of us. They're a bit like our values. They don't really change all that much. But what we can do is we can uncover them. We can turn down old messaging, so things that are no longer serving us. So for example, like me, once I discovered that there was a really good reason why I had been doing these things that I had been doing over and over again that were literally ruining my financial future, I couldn't unknow it. And I started to really pay attention through a daily practice of journaling. I started paying attention to what I was doing with money, and I learned how to turn down that old messaging. And I learned how to reprogram some new messaging. So, those validations that I am good with money, that I don't need to be filling my house with all of this unnecessary stuff, that when I'm feeling feelings, it's okay to feel those feelings. I don't have to go out and spend heaps of money on a credit card. When somebody comes to me that I love who wants something, I don't have to give them that thing. There are healthier ways that I can work through that. So these are good examples, right? So be kind to yourself. This is the second rule. And be kind to all the past versions of yourself. You are and have always been doing the best that you can with the tools that you have available to you. It's why I'm really glad you're watching this video. It's why I'm really glad you found me, because everything that I do is about helping women in midlife to get better tools, to get more tools, to understand more about money so that they can make different decisions that serve where they want to go with their lives way better than what you may have been doing in the past. But you have to be kind to yourself. So a daily practice of tuning in is really important, and I am going to be running a free challenge really soon in the Women's Money Success Club on School. If you're watching this on School, yay, you're in the right place. If you are just watching this video because you found it on YouTube or you found it somewhere else, you're going to want to go to my profile and look up the Women's Money Success Club and get on over and join. So Daily practice of tuning in. What are you grateful for? I cannot stand this, oh, we have to be always finding 10 big things that we're grateful for. No, we don't. You can do this exercise in your head. In fact, that's what I do most days. What you need to do is just think of a few things that you're grateful for, and it can be really small things, and it can be the same thing every day. We're all following lives that have routine. For me, often it is my coffee. It is my daily walk. It is the sun, because I love the sunshine. And quite often I repeat them because every day I am grateful for those things. Thinking about what's coming up for you about money today. One of the good ways that I do that is I open my transaction banking account and I have a look at what I spent yesterday. And I don't do this to shame myself. I don't do this to scare myself. I just do it because I find that if I'm present with what's happening with my money, I feel so much better. I feel so much more in control. And so that daily exercise of just having a little look at my bank account and looking at what I've been spending over the last few days, does that serve who I want to be and where I want to go? Making changes, thinking about making changes as I go, that is really important for me, and I find that it's a really great daily habit to stay present. I want you to be speaking to yourself about money and speaking to yourself about the things that are happening with money like you were telling a good friend the same thing. If they were saying to you, oh my gosh, I went out on the weekend, I had this massive splurge, I bought all these new clothes, I don't even need half of what I bought, what would you say to that friend? Could you be really kind to them? Could you help them troubleshoot how they might be able to wind some of that back? We are much kinder to others than we are to ourselves. And finally, what's one thing you could do today to improve how you're thinking about money? So that is really starting to reprogram your mind. And I've already given you a couple of examples of that. So when you open your bank account, I want you to think, I really enjoyed that XYZ experience that I paid for, that I can see on my bank account. But it's not something I want to do every weekend. So next weekend, I'm going to do something else instead that is cheaper, doesn't cost as much money. That's just one example. Okay, so that is our tune-up complete. Next steps, as I've already said, you want to get over there and join the Women's Money Success Club on School if you are not already a member. The link is in my profile. You're going to want to head to the classroom along with looking at all the other stuff that's in the community. But in the classroom, you will find the Women's Money Success Path Part 1. And this training has all of the training videos and resources for the full money mindset module, the money baseline module, and the money goals module. These are the first three components that we look at on the Women's Money Success Path, and they are, to me, the holy grail of setting a strong foundation to build financial security, independence, and freedom for women. Hope to see you in there.